Hello, my name's Austin Campbell, and I'm so happy you can join me for another episode of the Chicken Noodle Podcast. I've been away for a while. Last thing I did was I put out the episode with my brother. I hope you guys all enjoyed that. He is a crazy person, isn't he? Yes, he is. So like I said, I hope you guys all enjoyed that. I think I'm going to put headphones on because I think it's too weird if I do it with headphones off right now. As you guys can see, I have a new setup. Turn that down. Sorry, so unprofessional. So I have a new setup because my wife, as some of you know, is pregnant as hell. And what do we know about women that are pregnant as hell? Well, they like to do nurseries, and the baby's going to be here in a month, so ergo, I've been kicked out of my office. I've had a podcast office, and I was getting tens of views on this podcast, more on Spotify, some are on YouTube, but okay, whatever. And now this baby has already started to turn my world upside down, and I don't know how to feel about it. Because I was in an office, in a desk chair, talking to the people, talking to you guys about the important things of life that are going on at this moment, stuff that no one else is talking about, okay? Sometimes other people talk about it, but they don't do it the way I do it, okay? I run people off my show. I have people that come and talk to me and say, hey, that episode was great. And then some people will come to me about that same episode and be like, hey, what the hell were you talking about? So I am double-sided. I'm controversial. You love me or you hate me. Either way, I'm happy you're here. So let's talk about the new setup. I hope that all is well with you. I hope all is well. I hope you like this new setup. I'm going for a more presidential vibe. Okay, and I realize I've left this up here. That's okay. We're not worried about that right now because I have a very special treat for you all next episode. I have something that's going to be replacing this, of course, only while I do my podcast because, as you can see, this isn't really an office, right? But as every man knows, as every good man this has happened to, you get kicked out of everywhere. But there's only one place to go. So right now I'm in here. But we all know where this ends up. Every man ends up in the garage. Now, maybe some of you laughed, maybe some of you didn't. I just know, witnessing it with my own two eyes, growing up, the mother is, my situation was a little different, but I'm not going to get into my deeper issues. Here's what I've witnessed. The mother runs the inside of the house. They like this over here and this over there and that there. And, that usually is where the man's stuff is. Woman moves into the man's house. The man has man stuff all around. And woman starts changing things. Woman then says, hey, does this there? And the guy, he still wants to get some sniz at night, So we abide. Yes, be a good soldier. So, but where does that, then when you have your things, what are you going to do? Go out to the garage. That's when, whenever I was growing up, I'd come to my friend's house and I'd just hear, like Willie Nelson or early Metallica, or I'd hear, or just some country music coming from the garage, and the dad's just sitting out there, and sometimes they're drinking a beer, other time they're just cranking the ratchet jack, or they're cranking the ratchet on something with a 10 millimeter. But either way, and they're happy out there because that's their space that no one can invade. I must grab the water bottle that is right here. Hiya. So, a space that they can't invade. Because the women come into your life and they start to invade your space. And we are all men that like to get sniz, so we abide. So all I'm trying to tell you guys is that right now we're here, got, like I said, a very special piece of artwork coming for back here for next episode. I'll probably end up out in the garage before it's all said and done, but right now that doesn't matter. And I think I know someone that's going to do a mural on this, but if any of you listening are artistic and would like to perform it, I want to, I want, the brand, I want the brand. You guys know what I want on here, right? So if any of you guys want to do that, I'll pay you a fair share and allow you to do that. Because while I am an artiste with my words, not with my thing, okay? So I guess that's where we can start out first and recap some stuff. My wife and I, shout out wife, we went to Nashville. Hey, Nashville is cool. I like Nashville. We went to the Frist Art Museum. I thought that it was fine art the whole time, but then whenever we got there, I realized, I realized that it was not the fine art museum. I realized that it was... Okay, well, that's pulling up the Frist Art Museum. But anyways, my wife, she wanted to go to Nashville. I'd never really been there. So I said, okay, absolutely, let's go. Some people might call it... What's that? Some people might call it a baby moon. And if you're a person that calls it a baby moon, I want you to please walk up to a mirror right now and just grab the back of your head and smash it into there, all right? Sure, yeah, was it our last trip before the baby probably gets here? Yes, but I'm not going to call it a baby moon, right? Because I'm not gay, right? And not like the sense of like blasting dudes in the anus. I'm just saying I'm not gay in that way to call it a baby moon. Like, just like I say, I don't say, oh, when I talk about the pregnancy, I don't say, yeah, we're pregnant. People that call it a baby moon also say we're pregnant. It's like, no, my wife is pregnant. I am not pregnant. I'm just here to help keep everyone going. Everyone in front of me, I got eyes on everyone. I don't know what that sound is, whatever. So the Frist Art Museum is where we went. And it was pretty cool, and I have some pictures I will throw up here, and I will look at right now, and maybe do some commentary on. So, the thing about art is sometimes you look at it, and you're like, I can do that, right? What makes that person, like what? It's not that it's, but also... Art is the home, is one of the founding fathers of money laundering, right? CIA, big time into all, do look it up, right? I'm not going to go off on that tangent, but, that's where my initial thought was like, art sold, what that be sold for how much? And it looks like, it looks like dog vomit? Huh. Then you're looking into it, and then you're like, oh, yeah, money laundering. So I like that, though. I like that. It's one of the most beautiful things about America and this country. Free conch. So we went there, and I don't really know if I took... Here are these, here are the pictures. Now, this one, there was, this one, I don't know what to be said about this. It's like a person, it's like a person coming out of its shell, a person leaving its former self, a person's true self coming out. That's kind of what I gather from that. What do you gather from that? If you have any comments, send an email to chickennoodlepodcast@gmail.com. That'd be lovely. So that's kind of what I gathered from that one. And no, I didn't read the things on the side. I think maybe on a couple of them I did, but, my interpretation, because they know and wowing me. And then this one reminded me of the song, everybody was kung fu fighting, hi-ya, tooth hurty. So that's what that reminded me of. Like that guy's about to rise up and just, whap, whap, whip some people into shape. So I enjoyed that one, but and it's just all these weird people that I don't know what they are, but it's weird and it's interesting and I like it. And I just you walk around with your wife, take your wife to an art museum, even if you don't like art, you just walk around and you're like, what is this? What the hell is this? And then it sparks conversation and maybe you like something, you guys, but just take it. And then a whole bunch of these people. Now, growing up, there was one of these, I don't know if you call it a tiki man, that's what I would call it, or no, it was like an Easter egg island head guy with a body, that's what all these were, but we had something at home growing up where it was an Easter island head, and then there was a barrel around the body, and then you would lift it up, and then his piece would go brack-a-cack-cack, and he had a raging boner, and me and my brothers would walk around. We'd show it to people that came over to the house, and they'll laugh, and it was very funny. So I'll always remember that boner piece. So that's what those reminded me of. Yeah, and then kind of maybe Zimbabwe-esque or maybe alien-ish. This one I did like. I like the colors. I like the vibrancy of it. Now see, and I look at these things and I say, oh, I could do this. What's it called? Deacon's Day, 1999. That's all I need to know about that, but I just really like that piece. That one's a good one. This one's kind of dark and edgy. I like that one, but this one right here. This one was what sparked me to wanting to talk about this on my podcast. This one right here is so hilarious. It is, does it have a name? Celebrating French identity. The name's over there. I can't read it, but this is it's French, but of course it is French. So you've got a French chef rolling up his sleeves with a knife in his hand, and then on this table that he's standing up there, on the back of the table is a little mini American or French flag, and then on the table is a mouse with some kind of knife through the mouse. So this Frenchman, he just killed a mouse. I don't know if the mouse was in his kitchen or what, but it was I just saw this and I was like, oh, why did they do that? I said, because they are French, but of course we must kill the mice. We must kill the mice with a knife, and we must paint about it to tell people we hate the mice. We are French, but of course. Did you have sex with my wife? But of course, I am French. What do you want from me? I am French. But of course I did. There's noise. So that was crazy. That was hilarious. I mean, it's just so funny. It was like the opposite of, ratatouille. It was more like ratasplooey, or it was more like stabatouille. Ratatouille, stabatouille. So whatever, that one's a rat cellar during the siege of Paris. During the French culinary nationalism, food shortage, and whatever. So I guess they're eating rats, but of course we are eating rats. We are French. I have sex with everyone. I see a man, I blast him in the anus because I am French. But of course I would blast a man in the ass. I am French. I would suck his baguette. I am French, but of course I would suck a baguette. We are French. So that was the art, and like I said, it was lovely. I enjoyed it. Then, now traditionally art is in a place of art is usually like liberal art school, like it's tendally more like liberal and whatever. That's fine. But there's this book I took a picture of. It's in their gift shop in like the kids section, so it's like a kids book size. And anyways, so it says a little book about activism, and I should have just opened it and started taking pictures of the pages, but it's just like, hey, I don't think my 3-year-old needs to be talked to about protesting whatever, protesting. My daughter, my daughter now, my 7-year-old daughter doesn't need to know about protesting, right? She doesn't need to know about, tying yourself up, locking yourself up to an oak tree, right? My daughter doesn't need to know about activism, okay? She doesn't need to know about super gluing your hand to the freaking, to the Mona Lisa and just sitting there until they promise to, cut back on the amount of jet fuel people use, right? Or hey, instead of how about you cut down on the jet fuel? And they're like, no, what's wrong with you? Like, all right, how about I stop? How about instead of bringing 10 whores on my private jet, I bring 5? How would you like that? And they say, okay, deal. I'm like, oh, I didn't really think this one through. I didn't think we'd work out a deal. So that way, since you only have 5, you have 5 less whores on your private jet, that'll get you better gas mileage with the jet fuel. And that way you can, and more green now. That's the kind of activist I would be, But if I was the jet guy, I would just really, just to be spiteful, instead of bringing 10 prostitutes on the plane, I would just bring 5, but I'd bring 5 like fat ones. So it'd still be the weight of 10, just to stick it to that activist. So anyways, here's a little book about activism, kids. Now, you might be just learning about shapes and colors, and, you might not even, realize the dirty ins and outs of the world, because you usually don't until you're an adult. But we've decided that we want to make you cynics at a very young age. So here's a little book about activism, right? Do you ask the teacher to go to the bathroom and she says no because maybe there's a rule of where one kid can only be in the bathroom at a time? So if there's already a kid at the bathroom and you ask, and you say, hey, teach, can I go to the bathroom? And she says, no, the rules are only one at a time. You call her a bigot and you kick her in her twat, all right? And you throw your fist up, give them a little Malcolm X fist, and you wrangle all them kids up. Now, after you've kicked the teacher in the twat, she's probably going to fall down. She's probably going to fall over. And what you got to do is you all got to rally up the troops, get back there, and then you all start just kicking her, and say, you made this rule because you're a bigot. You're a cis white woman. You don't know anything. You're a bigot. And then you all pee on her. And then you'll probably get the rule changed. And this has been a little book about activism. Unbelievable. Where are we at right now? Yes? Talking about activism? See, this is why I'm going to be moved out to the garage eventually. But, I do it all for you guys. Okay, we'll get off of that. So that, that was something. Then then we went to the Country Music Hall of, gosh, sorry to keep doing that. The Country Music Hall of Fame. It was good. Oh, real quick. There was, no. We're moving on. We're at the Country Music Hall of Fame, and there was some pretty cool things in there. Like there was a Ray Charles eyeglasses, what he used whenever, I don't know, it's just his eyeglasses. Like they're like these, but they're just a little lighter tint. And then he had a chess set in there that was pretty cool, with little divots in the places so he could play chess and he could feel where everything was at on the board. I really enjoyed that. And then some other things I took pictures. There's a display in there from these two female artists, Miranda Lambert, which fine, I know who that I knew who that was, and then Caitlin Butts. Caitlin Butts. Hey, Caitlin Butts, are you a country music artist? Hey, Caitlin, get a stage name. You might as well be Katie Asshole. That might be better than Caitlin Butts. Oh, I don't even know who that is. Newfound acclaimed attention in 2024 with her ambitious Tulsa Queen. So she's from Tulsa. Roadrunner. I don't. But because if your name's Caitlin Butts, then articles that are written about you are going to start out like this. Butts regularly mentions Lambert. A near constant presence on the charts, blah, blah, blah. Butts said, I picked up the guitar when I was 15 because of this woman. Oh, hey, Miranda Lambert, what do you think about Mrs. Butts? Or Miss Butts, pardon me. I mean, change it. So, there's that. And of course, Shabuzi, of course, is, has displays in the Country Music Hall of Fame. And the people I'm talking about, they're not inducted because that's a whole high society, secretive thing that I've looked into. But everyone has, displays and stuff in there. But Shabuzi is in there. And I always, we know why I like Shabuzi, right? Because my grandma hates Shabuzi. I mean, just the fact that there's an 80-plus-year-old woman out there that knows who Shabuzi is and hates Shabuzi is hilarious. And if you don't think so, this is not the podcast for you. So, because he's not country, is what she says. But, he's like, we're in the viral era of, things go viral, then, they're going to be everywhere. So anyways, so he was in there. Oh. And then my man Jelly Roll, he had a spot in there. Shabuzi suit. Okay, then to wrap up the Country Music Hall of Fame, there was, like Lil Nas X had a booth in there just because of that one song. It's like, he's not country. What's he doing in here? Just because it was with Billy Ray Cyrus and he's like a gay black man. So he's in the Country Music Hall of Fame as a display. I understand that song broke records, but it just didn't feel right, because he's not country. Elvis was in there, but that's a little more understandable because he was like, he's the king of rock and roll, but he's in the Country Music Hall of Fame. Like, because some of his songs you can see it, but the Lil Nas X makes zero sense. And then, Toby Keith got inducted last year because he's, dead. So they were like, oh, let's induct him because he told them to screw off for most of his career. And, so they weren't going to induct him. But then when he died, they're like, okay, well, now we'll induct him. But he doesn't even care. He's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. And he, said that was more important to him, right, than anything else. So he just really took a shot at him. But it's very unfortunate that he had just such a big boot in his ass that he developed stomach cancer. It's really unfortunate. So Yeah, I guess that was the Country Music Hall of Fame. My favorite country music characters are Johnny Cash. I mean, because Johnny, the Man in Black, love Black. The, but I mean, his song, I mean, he just, he sing, the people I really like sing about the stuff that I like to do that I can relate to, getting under the influence, not giving a rat's ass, and having a good time, and like it's like outlawy or criminally. I don't know. It's strange because like some rappers sing about that, but they've never been in trouble. And then some people sing about stuff they've never done, but it's still I like it though. You get the right character to sing it. I guess I like it. Anyways, Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, because he ended his life eating peanut butter banana sandwiches, learning how to do kung fu. Okay, and if that's not the American dream right there, I don't know what is. And then Hank Jr., Hank Jr., he's fun. Waylon Jennings are fun. Rowdy bunch. Yeah, so that's that. I'm trying to just extract the most. And this is why I think I'm trying to be too. Because at the art museum, we'll slash back to there really quick. At the art museum, there was a section where you could create some art, and me and my wife created two things. I'll let you decide who did what, but I think I have this delusion that I am an artist sometimes. Let me grab these. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So like I said, who did what, right? If you had to guess, which one did my wife do and which one did I do? Okay? The answer, my wife did this one, okay? Now, hopefully you know that, though, and I did this one. And you're probably like, what the heck is that? So here's where I get too artsy-fartsy and think that I can do art and stuff. This is why I need someone to do a mural of this, because if I do it, it'll just look like garbage. So I did the purple is me, because that's my favorite color. The yellow is my wife, because that's her favorite color. The pink is Ava, because that's her favorite color. And then the green is the baby, because that's going to be the baby's birthstone if she's born, on time. So my thing was like, everyone's favorite color and everyone's around everyone, and everyone's chasing everyone around and everyone's, up against each other and just all these crazy things. But it was just like, just like that. I wanted it to look like that picture that I saw, the one that I liked, the Deacon Day or whatever, the vibrant color one that I showed earlier. But it just never comes out like that. So I get a little too artsy-fartsy sometimes, and that's fine. It's completely okay. But, I see my wife doing stuff. I'm like, she's going to blow the doors off of me, even though it's not a competition. But I'm an artist, so I should be able to, hang around. Then we got plants. Then we got plants from down there in Nashville, and we're in the plant store, and I was walking around doing something, and I guess someone thought I worked there, so I was doing something at this plant store, and there's a cat that's been running around. It's just like the cat, and I like to do these things because if I'm out in a different town, I like to just do these things because it's funny. It's funny to me, and I just will laugh about it for days on at a time, just wondering what these other people that I interacted with thought. So this cat's running around, and I see the cat and whatever. Time goes on, well, I'm grabbing a pot or something, and these people come walking up, and the cat's like kind of around me, and they see me grabbing a pot, so maybe it looks like I work there, and they're like, hey, "Hey, is this your guy? Is this your cat?" And I go, "No, but he's a cute little bastard, isn't he?" And just like then I just keep walking away. But that's maybe not one of the more highlights of like times I mess with people. But I just thought it was I think that's so funny how blunt it is, And he's a cute little bastard, isn't he? Because I like to think that people are like, who's that guy, and what's his, what was that? So I had that written down. I wanted to share with you guys. There was a woman. We stayed at a Best Western hotel. My wife loves the Best Western, and there was this woman that was running the breakfast place, and I mean, she was just on it. It was her. She was like, if I had to guess, she was from Vietnam. Hee hi, hee hi, hi hi. Because she did like a whole bunch of that, like a whole bunch of that stuff. Some kind of ease, but I think, not Chinese. I really think Vietnam, if I had to guess. So older lady, short hair, a little wrinkly, but like she was, I'm like getting a waffle. You want a waffle? You want a waffle? You here? I open it for you. You pour stuff in there. It's like I was looking at the oatmeal. I wasn't looking at the waffle. Oh, okay. I get the oatmeal. Here you go. And it's like like just this like stuff. And she's just on. You walk in her kitchen. She's on your ass, right? But the funniest thing, I didn't take a picture of it because I thought I wasn't thinking about it at the time. But she's like getting, they have these nice coffee machines at some hotels now, to where like you don't need to, if you add stuff to your thing, you don't have to. There's like these just different things that it'll make, your coffee to pretty much however you want it, and you don't have to do anything. Like you want French vanilla something, whatever. Anyways. So, but some people, I saw this one lady was opening some creamer packets off to the side, and those are never, those are just never going to be good from a hotel. So the lady walks up, the kitchen runner walks up to the lady, and she's like, you open the creamers? And she's like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. She's like, okay, I watch. So she says, I watch. She watches them. She's like, see, these are bad. She's like, oh, they're bad? And she's like, yes, bad. Bad? Bad. And she's like, Anyway, it was an amazing thing to watch. But when she was changing the thing out of the coffee, the creamer out of the coffee machine, because someone said the creamer was running low. I mean, she threw this, because she's short. She threw this chair out, and then she got up there, and she hiked her leg up there for no reason. She didn't need to hike her leg up. So she got the creamer, and she's opening it, and she's pouring it in, and she got her leg hiked like this. And, God, it was so funny. But we're going to move on, because I'm probably not retelling it well. So, this is a little 35-minute banger, but, like I said, I have another present, or a thing that's going to go up here. I went to a store, an autograph store, and decided I'd like autographs. And there was this place, Palm Beach Autographs had, like the moon landing. They had Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky both signed on the same, piece of paper. Just a lot of really cool stuff. So, but they had these mystery bags, and it's this mystery picture for $10. The one I got was $10 for any NCAA football player. I thought it said basketball at first because I thought that was going to be more interesting, but it's a mystery bag for $10 of an autograph, an 8x10 of any NCAA football player. And I almost got the $75 baseball, which is signed by a mystery person, but they've either won an MVP, a Cy Young, a batting title. They've done some accomplishment. So I almost got that, but I didn't. So this is it, and I have not opened this yet. So we're gonna see who the newest addition to the Chicken Noodle podcast is, and then maybe we'll get out of here. So I don't know who it's gonna be, but this This is live. You're getting to see this. You guys like ASMR? I don't know who it is. Because I was hoping if it was basketball, it was going to be like, just someone so obtuse that and that would have been funny. I would have framed it, But the football, I really don't know what to expect. Okay. West Virginia star Grant Riley. Everyone give it up for Grant Riley. This is what $10 will get you. Now let's look up who the hell is Grant Riley. You hear my daughter out there? Yeah, that's why I gotta wrap this up. Men's ice hockey? No. Football. West Virginia. Just like $10. First of all, you can't even find him. This is hilarious. When was this? First of all, who is this? And why can't I find him? Okay, let's try Grant Riley football. Oh, Wiley. Whoops, sorry. Okay, Grant Wiley football. Come on, internet. Okay. Oh my gosh, what is this? Come on, internet. Okay, an American former college and professional football. He played college football for West Virginia University, earned All-American honors at linebacker. He played professionally for the Minnesota Vikings of the NFL, but never appeared in a regular season NFL game. He became a creator in art and entertainment and after suffering a career-ending shoulder injury. Oh, this is fantastic. Mountaineers as a Big East Rookie of the Year. Let's see. Well, his senior seat. He got 13th best out of 51 projected 6th or 7th round. He was undrafted 2004 and later signed a free agent contract with the Vikings on August 6th. He was later placed on injured reserve. Returned to Vikings training camp once again. Training camp was to be his last. He seriously injured his shoulder. Blah, blah, blah. After losing 60 pounds, Wiley is currently living in New York City. Grant is co-founder and chief culture for tech startup VEEPIO. VPO? He is working at the credit, I trained in theater, blah, blah, blah. He's currently working in writing, producing film. He is also surfacing as an acclaimed singer-songwriter vocalist for the group G&8, as well as visual artist. His film credits as a background actor, Sex and the City, the movie, Limitless, The Adjustment Bureau, The Wire, Lipstick, Jungle 40, Kings, Damages, and All My Children. Those first couple, Limitless, The Adjustment Bureau, I love those freaking movies. So anyways, what's the moral of this story? $10 for a guy that I still don't know. None of that made any sense to me. But he didn't even get drafted, even though he was projected to be a late rounder. He, got a contract on he played with West Virginia, Then he tried to play the Minnesota Vikings. It didn't work out. He, messed up his shoulder, probably because of his weak genetics. But yeah, he never played in the NFL. And so his dreams got crushed. But you know what? Maybe he's doing what he wanted now. So Grant Riley, welcome to the Chicken Noodle Podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope this has been a great recap Like I said, some more changes to come around, like set up. If you have any ideas, chickennoodlepodcast@gmail.com. We still, have the chickens everywhere. And I really think that's all I want to talk about. This should be a good little thing for you guys to munch on. So this goes out to you, Grant Riley. Way to chase your dreams, get very close, and then fail miserably. But you're not alone, because that's the path I'm headed on. God bless.